Record 22, Side 1, Lesson number 22, the 22nd lesson, Practical section, Furnishing the house.
I say, Peter, Jane and Robert have just moved into their new house. Let's go round and see how they are managing. We might be able to help or advise them.
They'll have furnishing problems, I suppose. It's no easy matter nowadays, especially if one wishes to give one's home a really personal touch.
I have the car outside. Let's drive over right away.
Hello, Robert. Where's Jane? And how's the new house getting on?
As well as can be expected. But really, we are only at the beginning. There are so many things to be bought.
How many rooms have you here, Robert?
2 bedrooms, a sitting room, a dining room, kitchen, bathroom, and box room. But we furnished only the kitchen and part of our bedroom so far. Come in. Jane's in the kitchen making a cup of tea.
Couldn't have arrived at a better time, Arthur. I hope you have more than 2 cups, Robert.
Of course, we received more tea sets than we can find room for as wedding presents. Jane, dear, Arthur and Peter have come along to help with the heavy work, but they want a cup of tea first.
What's he mean by heavy work? I only want a cup of tea, in exchange for which I'll be glad to offer you the benefit of my experience on any subject regarding furnishing the home.
Perhaps that's not a bad idea. We want some advice on a number of things. But first, I must make the tea. Robert, show them over the house.
Yes, it'll only take a few minutes. Here's the sitting room. It's wonderful to look out towards the hills in the afternoon from here. 2 windows give plenty of light.
You come in here straight from the hall, I see, without having to pass the kitchen or the bathroom. That's a good point.
The bedrooms are both the same size, but one is quite empty. Here it is. They too look west. The bathroom and the dining room are on the other side of the corridor, so you have a general idea of the layout.
Well, let's go and see about that cup of tea. I like the house. It's very nice. How are you going to furnish it?
That's a very important problem. And I should like your advice, Arthur. And yours too, Peter.
Where are you going to start? The kitchen seems more or less complete. You have cupboards and shelves and an attractive and colorful modern table and chairs.
Yes, but there are still a few things to do. However, we have been wondering about the bedrooms and the other rooms. Oak, mahogany, walnut or teak, modern or period furniture, and the furnishings, the curtains, carpets and ornaments necessary to complete the house and make it a home.
It's so much easier to furnish with the best modern furniture. But I agree that it does seem austere when one remembers the elegant lines of Chippendale or the beauty of Queen Anne furniture.
A fair-sized built-in wardrobe in the corridor would allow you to furnish with only one wardrobe and a small dressing table, apart from the double bed.
We thought of single beds for the other bedroom, and in the sitting room a really good bed settee, so that we might be ready for any eventuality.
And I should like a good modern dining room suite with 6 chairs, extending table, and a low sideboard.
What kind of wood have you in mind?
We'll have to go and visit the shops, and also 1 or 2 cabinet makers, so as to get a better idea of what is on the market.
That's true. But we shall want to see Arthur and Peter again, if they would be so kind as to help us decide when we ourselves have a better idea of what we should like.
We'll be delighted, won't we, Arthur?
Certainly. Any time you wish.
Side 2, grammatical section. Comparison of adjectives. Some very common adjectives have irregular forms for the comparative and superlative. For example, positive, good; comparative, better; superlative, best; bad, worse, worst; little, less, least; many or much; more, most; far, farther or further; farthest or furthest; old, older or elder; oldest or eldest. Farther and farthest are normally used only for distance. Your house is farther from the station than mine. Further and furthest are used both for distance and in the sense of additional. It is further than I thought. You can have further information by writing to them. Elder indicates seniority rather than age, and cannot be placed before than. It is usually applied within the family or defined groups, such as the members of a club, church, etc. Eldest is used in the same way between more than 2 persons. The elder son is a doctor, the other is still at school. I spoke to the eldest brother, who is now over 80 years old. However, the adjective usually forms its comparative and superlative in one of the two following ways. Monosyllables add er and est to the positive form, as do most two-syllable adjectives ending in y, er, and ow. All others normally form the comparative and superlative by placing more and most before the adjective. Positive poor, comparative poorer, superlative poorest. Pale, paler, palest. Dark, darker, darkest. Tall, taller, tallest. Easy, easier, easiest. Clever, cleverer, cleverest. Narrow, narrower, narrowest. Intelligent, more intelligent, most intelligent. Careful, more careful, most careful. Note that y changes to I before er and est. In comparisons between two persons or things which are unequal, the word than is placed before the second term of the comparison as follows. John is 10 years old and I am 5. John is older than I. The boy is stronger than the girl. When more than two things are compared, the superlative is used, preceded by the definite article the and followed by of. In is used when referring to places. Note the following examples. She is the most beautiful in the room. Who is the oldest of those boys? In comparisons between equals, the following forms are used. Positive as, negative, not so, as. John is as tall as his elder brother. John is not so tall as his elder brother. This second sentence would, however, in normal conversation, be spoken using not as, with the contracted form of not. John isn't as tall as his elder brother. The comparative is preceded by the when two qualities are referred to the same subject and are interdependent. The more you study, the quicker you will learn. The more, the merrier. This last example means that the more people there are, the happier everyone will be. When it is desired to indicate that a quality or state is increasing, we repeat the comparative, placing and between the two. In winter, it gets colder and colder. The story grew more and more interesting. When the second term of a comparison is an infinitive, the to may be omitted. It is better to study now than wait till tomorrow. In formal English, the second term of a comparison is in the same case as the first, but usually when the second term is a third-person pronoun, it is accompanied by the verb of which it is the subject. He is cleverer than I. Mary is more intelligent than you. You are not so intelligent as he is. However, in informal conversational English, the accusative pronoun is very often used, without the verb, of course. He's cleverer than me. Mary's more intelligent than you. You aren't as intelligent as him. Comparison of adverbs. Single-syllable adverbs form the comparative and superlative by adding er and est. All others, except early, and the irregular adverbs given below, take more and most. Positive fast, comparative faster, superlative fastest. Hard, harder, hardest. Early, earlier, earliest. Irregular adverbs: well, better, best. Badly or ill, worse, worst. Late, later, last. Little, less, least. Much, more, most. Far, farther or further. Farthest or furthest.